everybody. It's the program.
And it's a Monday. Once again, we're going to talk for an hour.
Yeah.
And whatever happens on the program, happens on the program. There will be no editing. So if I say something embarrassing or stupid, yeah, I got to take the heat.
What happens here, we've turned on the machine, so I'm going to be talking for an hour. And it was the start of Monday. Dan's here. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you. I've had the most unusual week ever.
Whoa.
Not bad. Pretty good for the most part.
Unusual, though.
Unusual, yeah. Well, my daughter and grandson are now staying with me and will be for the next few weeks, no doubt.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And Xander, my grandson, he's a clown.
Uh-huh.
He is such a clown and improv drama actor. I want to say drama queen, but that would be incorrect because a drama queen is like, ah, right? You know, and they do a drama for attention. He does drama as a game.
Okay.
He will like be fake upset and fake scared and fake intense and stuff like that, and you know, I just love that because I'll do the fake right along with him.
Yeah.
Like the other night, he decided to be a chicken. So he's walking, you know, because the living room and the kitchen there, you can just go around in circles.
Yeah.
And so usually every night he will walk around being some sort of something. And last night, I think it was the other night, he was a chicken. And he's like walking around being a chicken, flapping his wings. It's like, I don't know where he comes up with this craziness. When Chris was a kid, I was often silly and, you know, doing the fake drama thing and stuff like that. So Chris and I would have fun like that.
That's his mom.
And she continued that and then passed it along to her son.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah, we're a thrillsome threesome, that's for sure. Yeah, so it's pretty good, and it's a trick, it's a toughie to go between being a disciplinarian to a human plaything. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. Wherever the fuzz went away.
Yeah. So did you do that? You had to discipline be.
Yeah.
Do both?
Yeah. Well, I have to be firm about stuff because he will want to do a thing, and it is not the right time. It's not the right place. It's not a good time to do that. And so I'm like, no, Xander. Mm-hmm. And usually both Chris and I have to tell him to, you know, we'll have to get his attention and say, Xander. And he's like, what? But he continually calls me Grandpa Dan. Mm-hmm. And his dad, James, has not been there for him emotionally or psychologically. He's been kind of the hard ass, you know, and it's like, you do this or else, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And Chris hasn't had to be the disciplinarian, and she doesn't like being the disciplinarian. She likes being the mom. You know, she likes that role, and she liked James, her husband, to be the authoritarian thing. And it's funny because Xander will look to me, he'll like, can I do this thing? And I'm like, only if it's okay with your mom.
Yeah.
And I have to every once in a while I have to kind of like check with her when we're going to do a thing, what's okay. And it's been a learning experience because I'm getting to know Chris again, and just being with her all the time, learning what her tolerances are and what she likes and doesn't like, and what, you know, just where she's at with this issue and that issue and this thing and that thing and that sort of thing. And so it's been a getting to know kind of a process. Mm-hmm. A lot. And that's a good thing for me. And, you know, I thought I've thought a lot. I had about 2 weeks or so to think about how I wanted to behave and what I saw my role as with him in my life now. And, just being the calm, compassionate, gentle person that I like to be, that I try to be, that I want to be, and trying to be that way, like all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll get a little frustrated with him because he won't settle down. It's time for bed, and he won't settle down.
Yeah.
And that's always a toughie. It's always been a toughie with kids, getting them to settle down so they can get to sleep on time. So because they got stuff they got to get up for in the morning, and you want to make sure that they get enough rest and that sort of thing. And we've been staying up, all of us. He doesn't want to go to sleep. He doesn't want to go to bed unless or until Chris is ready for bed, because, I've got the futon couch thing that we turn into a couch or a bed, depending on what time of the day it is. And we start turning out lights, and we turn down the noise, and that sort of thing. So we're establishing a routine, which is good. Which is really good. So, and it's really funny. He's super picky. He's super picky at eating.
Yeah,
And he is pretty much all the time. It's like you wanna try this, and you're like, no. Do you want some of that? No. And he'll say, what are you eating? And I'm like, oh, I'm eating this thing. You want some? And he'll like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And he's never tried it before. He doesn't know. His automatic default response is, no, I don't like that. And every once in a while, it's like I'll be eating something that I think is pretty good. I'm pretty sure he would like it. And I'll be like, well, you want to try a bite? You want to taste it? And he'll like, no.
Yeah.
But then, if I'll leave it on the plate and go and do something, get up, go get something to drink, or use the bathroom, or something, he will sneaky try it.
Yeah.
And then he'll discover whether or not he really likes it or not. And he's done that a bunch with different foods, and so he's trying different foods, and that's a good thing.
You trick him into eating it.
Well, yeah, he likes the sweet stuff. If it's sweet and sugary, he's got to eat it. Yeah, doing the reverse psychology, real sneaky like that, is working.
Yeah.
And I feel I have mixed emotions about manipulating someone else in that way, but food, getting them to try different foods is, that's probably okay, because it's not going to hurt him. It's not for a bad cause. It's for a good cause. Him having a wider palette of different choices of food just makes it easier on Chris. It makes it easier on me, and it gives him more choices as far as eating.
What is he eating and not eating?
Oh, well, for breakfast, of course, it's got to be the sugary sweet cereals, and being a junior scientist boy, I'm pretty aware of the kinds of crap that goes into kids' food.
Yeah.
Like the Fruitios, the colored cereals.
Mm-hmm.
The chemicals that they use to color it have physiological effects that last for a while. Tartarazine, which is a yellow food, yellower, it can have it's a stimulant. It's a mental, it's a mental stimulant. Yellow 5 is tartarazine, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it Mountain Dew? It's supposed to, it's not for kids, but it's supposed to lower your sperm count or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
That was the big...
It has several different kinds of effects, and some of the reds, some of the blues, they're just different chemicals, and they're not, they may or may not be from a natural food source. More likely they're just a little chemical compound that somehow they got the FDA to say it was okay. In small doses it's okay, but people like what they like, and they'll eat large doses of things that they like.
Yeah.
And it may have a compound in it which it builds up in our body, and it has in larger doses it has effects on our kidneys or spleen or liver or brain or nervous system or something. Well, yeah, just stuff like that. And then there's the preservatives and the growth hormones and all that they put in a lot of the dairy stuff. So that's not good. So I've been slowly trying to educate her about that, and she just, she's starting to get it.
It's time for the dice game. She's not into nutrition and stuff as much.
She's into convenience. Thing is, though, she has what looks like Cushing's disease, and so she's had to change her diet completely.
Well, what's that?
Cushing's is where your...
We'll roll one to start off with,
Okay, we'll pick the blue, since there's only one blue. Cushing's is where your body produces too much cortisol, the stress hormone. And when you chronically produce cortisol, it has dilatory effects.
Dilatory?
Yeah, bad. It's bad.
Dilatory means is bad?
Yeah.
Is it more specific than that? I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Dilatory, debilitating, damaging.
Okay.
It has damaging. So I lost.
I lost also. Well, we still have
What
a lot
number
more
did you
chances.
pick?
I have a 4.
Yeah,
You have a 3, yeah.
3, as always.
We have a lot more chances to win. That's only 500 out of a possible 3,000 points.
3,000 points.
Yeah.
So she has had to change her diet significantly, and so she has to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables and stuff. And she actually cooks real good. She likes cooking with the whole foods. And I can't afford to go out to restaurants and stuff, and and she's on a budget. She got her last paycheck, and it was pretty good, and so she's kind of holding on to as much of that as she can. She went and got food stamps and medical for her and Xander.
Yeah.
And and she's got a job interview tomorrow. So, and she's got a wide range of skills. She did childcare for a number of years. She did elderly home care, right? Geriatric home care.
Okay.
She did that for a number of years, and she worked at Walmart for 5 years. So she's got the retail experience. So she's got like 3 different kinds of work that she can do. So she's got like a wide palette of different things, and so she's easily employable. More so than me, because I don't have much in the way, or really, I don't have much in the way of retail. I don't have much in the way of any kind of child care or elderly care or anything like that. I have teaching.
Yeah.
Teaching. I mean, I did work at Radio Shack 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I've worked in restaurants, different aspects, everything from washing dishes to being a waiter.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of sciencey and teaching things. I've done kids' summer camps before. I've worked with kids in that way. And teaching, a lot of teaching kind of stuff. But I kind of gravitate towards that anyway. I love teaching. And my dad was an asshole, and he was a teacher. And for a long time, I felt anytime I had done any kind of teaching on my own, I really liked it, and it was really comfortable, and it was kind of a natural thing for me, but I didn't want to be like my dad. I didn't want to be a teacher because that's what my dad was, even though it seems that I'm kind of wired to do that sort of thing. And it's like there was a point where I'm like, well, screw that. It doesn't matter what his job was. It doesn't matter, he as a person was not kind, and just because his job happened to be that doesn't mean that I can't be a teacher and still not be like him. Because I'm not like him at all.
Was he a mad teacher too, though? You think it was?
He was an ultra disciplinarian teacher.
Yeah.
There were a couple times, and I keep thinking I talked about this, there were a couple times I was doing something in the area and I wanted to ride home because it was a ways from home, and I stopped in and hung out at the back of his class when he was teaching, right? Because he was leaving for home and I was out in the area. He was quite a ways away, and the children were silent. They sat with their hands on their desks doing their assignments, and they could not speak to each other.
What subject was it?
Some kind of social studies or something. They had to do a thing. Might have been history. I'm not really sure. I don't remember clearly what the subject were. I was extremely kind of jolted by how managed the students were, how they didn't talk to each other. There was no chaos whatsoever.
Wow.
And then one kid freaked out. She just couldn't take it anymore, and she started freaking out, and he ended up carrying her out of the class because she's like, no, I can't do this anymore, no! Right? And these are 3rd and 4th grade kids.
Freaky.
Yeah, and so he carried her out, took her to the principal's office.
Wow.
And
that was in Canada.
Yeah, and that would be awful. That would be awful to be in like a military dictatorship in school.
Yes, yeah.
In the class where I couldn't talk, I couldn't be me, I had to be a drone. That would be awful.
And that's how you were at home too, maybe.
He tried to do it. He constantly complained about my mom and my 2 sisters conspiring against him because he was always trying to maintain order in the house. He wanted things done a certain way. He wanted things timed at a certain time. Like growing up Mormon, Mormons do Monday nights or family home evening, and that's when everyone is home for about 2 hours. We all sit in the living room. We say a prayer together, then we sing a hymn, and then there is a lesson, and then a fun activity.
Whoa.
And everyone in the family tried to avoid it because it sucked.
Oh, yeah?
It sucked ass.
Every single person, or not?
All the kids.
Yeah.
No one wanted to be there. No one wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was a teenager, 13, 14, 15, I think I was 16 when my mom officially said, I'm leaving, I'm divorcing him, blah, blah, blah. And that really messed with my younger brother, Alan. But me, I was old enough to understand that my mom was miserable being married to my dad. She was utterly miserable, and her leaving, because they didn't hug and kiss anymore. They fought all the time. Anytime they were interacting, they were fighting. They were arguing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a big no-no for Mormons too, right?
Well, my family, like most of the other families, I realized afterwards, they would look at other families in the church and they would point to them and say, look at that family, look at how good they behave, look at how well managed they are, look at what good Mormons they are. We need to be more like them.
Yeah.
But it's fake because we would only see them in church or at activities, Mormon gatherings of one kind or another, and we would only see their outward behavior at a social event of some kind, whether it's some sort of church-related thing.
Yeah.
And that's all that we would see. That's the only behavior that we would see, and they would point to that and say that's how they were all the time, and we should be more like that.
So other people did that to you guys probably too, because you're.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I realized that. Afterwards, that every single family, they were not the star Mormons that we saw in church. They had fights and disagreements, and the mom and dads would argue, and there was chaos, and all the normal regular family crap that goes on, with people living together and trying to negotiate space and time and food and money and things and stuff. Activities and resources and all that. So and some families were better than others. This one family, I had a friend named Royce, and I would hang out at his place, and it was really cool because their family fights were totally different than ours. Totally different. Our family fights were hostile and angry and occasionally violent. My dad would get violent. And he choked my sister a couple times.
Ooh.
Yeah, on the couch. She told him to go fuck himself, and he wrestled her on the couch, and my sister grabbed the phone. My younger sister grabbed the phone. She was going to call 911, and my dad made death threats to her. And me and Alan, we just stand around. We were just standing there, telling my dad, "Stop."
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's info time.
Yeah. So I had an interesting childhood. Here are answers to some frequently asked questions about the program you're watching right now. It's called Your Daily Hour with Me. It's a call-in television show that is filmed here in Thurston County every day, 7 days a week, 365 a year. It's every night, 11:30 at TCTV channel 22. It's episode a week is taped. Watching blah, blah. If you're watching it now, okay, we'll skip that. If you're watching at 2 a.m., it's last year's episode, same day and month. And of the previous year. You can watch any episode on the program on YouTube. Anyone can be on the program, especially you. We rely on the community for content, so give us a call at 360-836-4384 and leave a message. We'll call you back while we're on the program. Thank you for watching, and now back to the program. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
I was not moving. I was just standing there like this.
What's going on with that? We're back from intro time.
Yeah. So that was kind of my family life, and so if I ever go back to school, I've got a bachelor's in communication, right? I did a year of media and a year of theater, but really, if I go back, I would do 2 more years, and I'd get a master's in teaching.
Viewers, if any of you are experiencing any home violence, you can call the authorities, tell somebody.
Yeah.
Don't you're not alone out there. You can go and call the authorities and tell somebody about it.
Yeah, and just being straight up about it. What usually happens is the person that is the problem person, the violent person, or whatever. Usually, you care about that person and you see their behavior as bad, you try and get them not to behave that way, and you realize that if you call the authorities will get involved, they'll get into trouble, things will go very badly for them. You just want them not to do it, and you try and respond in a way that's measured, and you just want them not to do it. And a lot of times what will happen is the family members will not engage the police or the authorities. They won't talk about it. They will keep it a secret, partly to protect themselves from further violence from the person, because if they find out the violent person or the person behaving badly, whether they're male or female, will freak out on you and things will get worse, or at least that's the belief, or at least that's their threat. And so the victims in the issue will they will keep it a secret. They will keep it quiet, and they will not tell other people because they want to spare themselves of repercussions from the person, and it's embarrassing to admit that someone in their family is behaving really badly and they haven't stopped it, they haven't ended it, they haven't left the situation. So that's kind of how codependence gets established, is you have this problem person, they're behaving badly, and everyone around them tries to respond in a way that is compassionate towards the person. They try and forgive the person for their bad behavior. They make excuses for them. Well, they had a bad day, or well, they drank too much rum, or well, they're misunderstood, or well, blah 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 blah. They'll make excuses for them, and that way it enables that person to continue behaving badly, because the people around them will make excuses for them and provide them with many more opportunities to behave badly. So a lot of that's why I have trouble with secrets, with people keeping secrets, whether it's at work or play or in other situations. People that they're not open about their issues and stuff. I feel that is unhealthy. If someone is in a bad situation, it's important to talk about it, because most likely there are other people that get it. They've gone through it, they've been through it, they can empathize and be supportive in that way. Second, by being open and talking about it, they lend themselves to more opportunities for help.
Yeah, you can resolve your situation. If you don't do anything about it, you can't resolve.
Yeah, and it makes it more and more difficult for the problem person to behave badly, because it's open now. Other people know about it, and they're less protected in their bad behavior. You know, so, and in my family, there were all kinds of terrible secrets. We kept secrets of what happened to us, so, you know, regardless of the means that they used to get us to keep their secrets, it ended up being a very, very unhealthy thing, because I ended up helping the abuser abuse me further by being silent and not talking about it. And so, you know, one of the best ways to end child abuse is by talking about it. One of the best ways to end rape is by talking about it. One of the best ways to, you know, end a lot of terrible things is by being open about it, because it's not quiet and secret and everything. And when we talk about it, we find out how common it is. And we can get support, and we can improve our relationships. And it's not necessarily a cure, I guess. It's not. It won't necessarily end all of it, but it will certainly help. It's like, you know, I would go to school and I would stand up and say, okay, I was molested as a kid. How many of you in the classroom have been molested as a kid? You know, let's say I'm in college, and people that have been. No, I've never did that. Oh, okay. This is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
But people in the classroom would stop and think, oh, my sister, oh, my cousin, oh, it was me, oh, it was my mom, or my uncle, or something like that. They would think about their relationships, and if they knew anyone that it happened to, whether it was themselves or someone they knew, they would realize, oh my God, this person is standing up and talking about this, and it's something that I've kept secret for so long, and yet they are open about it. And my hope is that by talking about it, I give other people courage to talk about it, because holding on to secrets like that is caustic. It's poison. It's toxic. So it's important to be open about that. And it's not to gain sympathy. It's not to gain empathy. It's to help end the cycle, help others find their way out of it, help people talk about it and heal. So that has been really, really important to me for years and years and years.
Yeah, is there? I mean, I don't know who else to call if you don't want to call the police. Is there somebody else, you know, about other groups and stuff? There's like, I know there's probably some other support centers.
You know,
you want to just call the straight up police.
Sometimes you got to call the cops. You just got to call them. Sometimes you just got to call them. That's just that's the only intervention that is quick and simple. And
it just seems impersonal. Maybe when you call the police, it seems a little bit impersonal. When you're having a family thing, you want to call somebody else. You want to call like a psychiatrist or a some kind of support group.
Something that's really, really interesting. You know how we've had all these WikiLeaks, all these embarrassing secrets that the government has had, and different people, you know, they've done things and they've kept them secret. And what's interesting is that the WikiLeaks and the leaking of these secrets, it doesn't get anyone killed. It doesn't hurt anyone physically, but it embarrasses the shit out of people that are behaving badly. And they
it's like they're abusers.
Well, the embarrassment factor is extremely potent.
Yeah.
When it comes to stopping people from behaving badly, nobody likes to be embarrassed. It's a really uncomfortable, terrible feeling, being embarrassed or humiliated.
Yeah.
And it's a great threat too. It's like, well, listen, you do this thing, I am telling everyone.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, don't tell people. I don't want people to know, because they fear being embarrassed.
Yeah.
And and I've used that as a threat often. It's like, listen, I'm going to talk about it all over the place. Not blackmail per se. It's not like I want you to do a thing for me, and if you don't, I will do something that will cause you pain. It's more like, if you behave badly again, or if you continue this bad behavior, I'm gonna just tell the truth.
Oh,
I'm gonna be open about it. So
that's
it's not quite blackmail,
but
it's
well, if they continue the behavior that they're doing again, you're gonna tell somebody about it.
Totally.
That's not really blackmail then, because they're doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's about stopping bad behavior, and it's more about it's less about manipulating someone to gain advantage.
Maybe that's the worst punishment. You say, if you're going to do that again, I'm going to do something bad. Instead, you're just going to tell everybody else. That's the worst punishment there is. So maybe if you don't want other people to know about your actions, you probably shouldn't be doing them in the first place, maybe.
I like how I propped the phone on my knees. It's a knee phone.
Here we go. Oh, 6 and 4, I won.
Oh, man.
I have a 4, but you still have a good chance to come back.
I do.
have 500 points.
I could get 3 threes.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It happened yesterday.
Oh man, I could have gotten 1,500 points.
Yeah, should have answered your phone.
Oh yeah, we were out. Me and Chris and Xander were out yesterday, having fun.
That's good.
Having fun. Yeah. So. It's been, I've traveled a very, very long road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You guys want to hear about Dan's abuse? He's his child, he's talked about it a lot in the program. You can go back and watch old episodes about it, but you also call that number, because I think you're open about it, so.
Yeah, I am.
If you have any questions.
I am, yeah.
Call that number.
Well, I think about it, and something like half of all women will be molested or sexually attacked in some way by the time they're 25. Raped, molested, assaulted in some way by the time they're 25. Yeah, about half in this country. Boys, it's closer to 30 some odd percent. I've read all kinds of different statistics, and they've changed over the years, and it depends on the study and whether it was a survey or whatever, or metadata or something. But boys, it's somewhat less, but it's still high. It's still really high that boys are molested almost as frequently as girls.
Look out.
Yeah, and with boys and men, we've got this, our culture tells us to be strong and independent and brave and not to cry and not to display emotions that depict so-called weakness. And so, as a boy, I'm supposed to portray a certain kind of image as a boy, and being molested is a demonstration of how weak and vulnerable I am, or at least how weak and vulnerable I see myself, or I believe others will see me. So it makes it really hard on boys in particular to admit anything like that.
Yeah.
And the shaming that happens from friends and neighbors and stuff like that, it's a particularly difficult thing for boys. So getting an accurate statistic regarding boys and men that have been molested or abused is much more difficult.
Yeah.
Girls, there's a lot more. The social safety network is stronger for girls and women to be open, or to get help, or to admit, or to find support, emotional support regarding stuff like that. So things are a little different, but they've changed. When I was a kid, support groups were the only support groups that were available when I was a kid was alcohol AA. That was the only one. When I was in my 30s, which was in the 90s, support groups became prolific. There were support groups for everything.
Yeah.
And I was involved with this support group called Mass Healing. I don't know, have I ever talked about this? Mass healing.
I don't think I've heard about that. I don't remember.
Okay, so I went to this support group for about 2 years. It was at St. Pete's. We had a room booked I think it was every Sunday night or Wednesday night or something like that. And I went there in 93, 92, 93, right around there. And it was called Mass Healing, MASS, Male Abuse Survivor Support. And it was strictly for men who had survived any kind of abuse, whether it was psychological, emotional, verbal, physical, sexual, or ritual, any kind of abuse. And we closed the door, and we did a lot of the behaviors found in AA, because the original leader, Dave, had gone to AA for years, and so he incorporated a lot of the AA prayer, whatever that prayer is. I forget. God grant me the serenity. Yeah, the serenity prayer. And we did this little huddle thing, and it was all manly, kind of thing. But all the men around the table could talk freely about their abuse, and all the other men in the group could share safely, and they were not teased or treated any different, because everyone was there because they were hurt, and they didn't feel comfortable or safe talking about it anywhere else. But there they could. And so I ended up, for the first year I was a participant, and for the second year I facilitated a group at Evergreen. Yeah. So
you started a new group.
Yeah, and folks at Evergreen were not supportive of that. They were there was a lot of concern about talking about issues in a group, and then a man would just go crazy afterwards. He'd start acting out. He'd be all worked up about his shit, and then he would. No. It was.
People were worried about that?
Yeah.
Not like a very evergreen thing to.
It was a big concern. They were really worried. They wanted to have an official there from Evergreen present at the.
Well, I guess Evergreen's not the place. College is not the place for psychological support.
I'll tell you this, and people will object and complain, but I don't really give a shit. Evergreen is very, very supportive of women's activities and studies and women's sort of stuff.
But
men, no, not.
Maybe for liability, just for liability for the college. Maybe
that was a concern. That was a concern. But
I could see how that could happen.
There were support groups of various kinds at Evergreen already for women, but not for men.
Okay.
And so it was a gender-based concern, and I thought it was bullshit. And I was not liking Evergreen for a long time afterwards, because I thought it was sexist. It's like, you're basing your belief based on sexist beliefs, that you think men are this and men are that and blah 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 blah. Where's your non-gender concerns?
Yeah.
So
but you got past it and you did it anyway, though.
Yep. Yeah, we had to negotiate, and there were concerns by the men that went to this group that who's this schmo? He hasn't had this thing, and he hasn't gone through this.
Do you think there's moles or something?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but really it was about having someone there to just sample the aesthetic of the group. They needed to sample how things went, and how we talked about things, and how we worked through our issues, and supportive and stuff. And the person was only there like I think 2 or 3 times, and the support is like, oh, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. And there was talk about having a woman there to just watch and listen and pay attention, and the other men objected, because it's like, well, here's this woman who is judging us.
Yeah.
And the question was, it's like, well, if you had a female support group and a man had to be there to monitor their behavior, how would that go down?
Yeah, not too well.
Oh, yeah. So vice versa. So yeah, that was an issue. But there was a guy, and I ended up talking with him, and he was one of the professors in the
commercial break. Yeah, we're gonna check some messages when we get back from the commercial break.
Dance, Oli, dance.
Oh yeah.
Dance, Oli, dance. Live TV dance party. First Friday of each month. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. TCTV Studio A. 440 Yager Way. Oh yeah.
I love that commercial. Loosens it and then whoosh. He made that almost a perfect circle. I want one of those. I would love to try one of those.
Coming up
on the program. Look at all them tapes.
At 11:30 p.m.
Definitely a signal.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
You can come on the show. You should be on TV. We're on every night at 11:30 and 2 a.m. Tonight we have Lisa
Moon, sun,
and
Bird
stars.
and Carl and Kenny.
we talk about lots of
Universe.
stuff, including Edward Snowden and fracking.
Bohemian Club and Grove.
And Lisa talks like a Valley girl. Check it out. There's some
Yeah.
conflict.
We were trying to talk like Valley Girls, or
Not
she
me.
wanted me to. You did some of it.
Oh yeah. So part of the reason I have done as well as I have, given all the pain
Yeah.
that I grew up with, were the support groups. I got therapy for 3 years from one-on-one individual therapy for a while, but the support groups were really, really helpful in knowing that I wasn't alone, and that we did a lot of work on codependence, on ending our own personal codependence, enabling others, blaming, shaming, working through anger issues. I was so angry for a long time, and I realized, I figured something out, that if I just monitored my level of anger all the time, if I paid attention to what my anger level was, I could manage it.
Okay.
Because for a long time, for a lot of years, when I started remembering the stuff that happened to me as a kid, I was venom angry.
Yeah.
I wasn't just angry. I was just hateful angry. There was a lot of venom. And if you took your anger and one is just being troubled, you're just angry enough to notice, but not enough to really act out or do anything. And 10 is you're freaking out and going postal and murdering people. You're just that's your top level. You can't be any more angry. You're just that's your max. And I was walking around with a level 5.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time. I had this fire underneath, and I was ready to go to 6 or 7 right away. I would jump from not being angry to being enraged.
I've never seen you angry, I think.
Yeah, well, got it managed.
That's good.
And like an alcoholic, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, that sort of thing. The idea is that I have the potential to have anger like that again. And if I don't pay attention to that, if I'm not mindful of that potential within me, then it's possible that it could slip out again.
Whoa.
And there are times that I've suddenly become extremely angry very fast. And it's very scary. It is frightening to me that I could go there that quickly, that easily. And so I don't ever want to be that way again. I don't want to ever live that way again. I don't want to ever have that in my life ever again, just being angry, because
not fun.
Well, I learned, the other thing that I learned is anger is secondary, and people are not honest, or they're either unable to admit it or unwilling to admit it. But anger is secondary. Anger happens as a result of something else. Anger is not generated just in a vacuum. Anger is a reaction to something else.
Yep.
For instance, if I lost the dice game, I would feel this sense of loss, and then I would go to anger. Ooh, the dice is loaded.
Yeah.
Right? I would go to anger. Or if someone embarrasses me.
It's the sadness.
Well,
and then you're mad about sadness.
Sometimes it's sadness. Sometimes it's loss. Sometimes it's embarrassment. Sometimes it's the sense of the feeling of the belief that you're being betrayed or cheated or lied to. It's having an event happen, and you have this feeling, and you can't deal with the feeling. There's no way of coping with it, or coping with it is difficult and painful and time consuming. Feeling betrayed or let's say feeling betrayed, that's this terrible feeling. And how do you fix it? You can't fix it. It's this you're dipped in a pot of boiling water and you can't get out, and you can't get out, and you're stuck there, and anger is easier.
Yeah.
Anger is a fiery, flaming, energizing emotion that can get results.
You want to hear something angry?
Sure. Sure. What?
What? Oh. Fuck, over. What the fuck? I could have sworn I was calling my voicemail. Maybe you left a message, but then it turned out I was calling you, and now you ain't there, so now what the fuck am I doing? I'm here, and you ain't there, and so now I'm just sitting here going, what the fuck? Kiss my ass. I'm gonna fucking come down there and kick you in your cut and do that to me again.
Oh, Mr. Ginsey, you're just responding to your own internal anger issues.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do a psych eval of him on the program. That would not be kind.
Here's another message. It's from the 615 area code.
Where's that?
I don't know. Let's find out. Maybe they're gonna say.
Yeah, so I wanted to be on TV, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I just ate a bunch of peanut butter and drank a bunch of beer, and I have poisonous glue in my stomach, and I need to be resuscitated. Have a wonderful time on your program.
Drunk people calling.
Yeah, but where's he calling from?
I believe
like California or Oregon or something. That's 615.
Yeah, they called during the or not during program time for here. So
aren't the area codes in the Seattle, Olympia, that sort of thing? Aren't they in the twos? Like 253, we're 360. There's twos and threes,
There's a 425 in Seattle too.
Is there? Okay, twos, threes, and fours.
I don't really know. I don't know how area codes work at all. I mean, they're all 2, 3, and 4 around here. Maybe.
Well, the eights were reserved for kind of like toll-free calls.
Mm-hmm.
And that has changed. I mean, there's still the 800 numbers and there's the 888 numbers, which are toll-free. But now that, we all got cell phones, and making a long-distance call really isn't long distance anymore.
Yeah.
It's just you travel along other networks of cell towers, and all the big companies have agreements to share the bandwidth and use and stuff. So it's kind of interesting how that works now.
I don't know how long this
It's like, well, the way it used to be is
to an automatic voice message system.
There was a
Six, one.
local network, right?
1-3 is not available.
So there's the local network, and that was typically free, but you go outside that and you had to deal with the long-distance carriers that would send the signal from region to region.
Hey, it's the program. Hopefully you're feeling better after drinking peanut butter and beer or whatever, so.
Yeah, there's a program calling you back. Where are you calling from? Let us know. We want to know where you're calling from, because if you want to be on the program, you should be, map-wise close enough to be able to come here and be on the program or something.
You have about 10 minutes. Okay, bye.
Yeah. I do believe it's time to roll the dice.
The final dice game right now, I'm winning. I have 500 or 1,000 points. No, 500 points. I have 500 points. Let's see if Dan's gonna come back. Oh, you got 4, 3. Your hand there. Oh no, not on your hand. In your hand. How many dice you got? 3. Oh, right. It's the right amount. I thought you would grab 4. I was trying to. I was like, uh-oh. Oh, 2, 2, 2.
Holy crap! Look at all them 2s.
Well, that's triple 2s, but I won with 500 points.
2s, yeah.
See how Dan's you're keeping calm. You're not.
Well, it's just a matter of paying attention to that, and what I ended up doing as far as my anger goes is I would, every once in a while I would something would come up or something, and I would okay, where am I at? And I ended up developing names for each level of anger. Like level 1 was being troubled. There's no anger involved with the dice roll at all. Yeah, if there was, it'd be trouble. It's like,
yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that thing happen. And then after troubled, let's see, annoyed. It's the next one. Level 2 is annoyed. Level 3 is irritated. Level 4 is pissed. I'm pissed.
That's only level 4 at a time?
Yeah, pissed off.
Pretty
They're just names that I gave off. Well, that's level 4. That's almost halfway. Level 5 is angry. I'm angry. Level 6, seriously pissed.
Oh, wow.
Seriously pissed.
Okay.
Level 7 is freaking out.
Yeah.
Freaking out. Level 8 is seriously freaking out. Crazy, insane, freaking out. 9, I'm enraged.
Yeah.
And 10, I'm murderous.
Yeah. So you never got to 10, I guess.
No, never.
All right.
And when I was married and stuff and going through this, I would get up to level 7 and 8 often. But I never hit my wife. I never beat my kids. I was not physically violent with them at all. Usually, what I would do is I would break objects.
Ooh.
I would throw things. I would slam doors, slam cupboards, slam things, slam and stomp and throw, throw things down hard to make a noise, an impact. Because I would have this intense, hateful energy, and I had to get it out physically. And so this little thing that I developed pretty quickly is I would take paper, and I would crumple that paper. I would destroy so much paper. I would just grab whatever paper and I would crumble it up and I would throw it.
Yeah.
I would throw it really hard, and I would pick it up and throw it some more. And
That's
I would.
light.
Yeah. There was nothing would get damaged except for the paper itself. And I would yell and scream a lot. Lots of yelling and screaming. So yeah. And as the more I became aware of what was going on emotionally with me, the more able I was able to manage it. Because what I could do is when I realized I was at level 5 or level 6, I had to walk away.
Yeah.
I had to leave the situation. I had to take a time out. And I always thought taking the time out was like this stupid little play act thing that people did, but no, seriously, it's a good thing. You walk away, you breathe, you process what's going on, because when a person is really angry, there's not a whole lot of processing going on. There's just gut alligator reactions, just animal, just reactions, and there's not a whole lot of thinking that happens. And taking a time out gives a person time to think and process. And also over time, the anger goes down at least a little bit. And the more psychological thinking, processing that goes on, the less emotion has to occupy the mind.
Yeah.
And you can be thinking about a thing and still be angry, but at least you're not reacting on someone, you're not yelling and screaming and saying terrible, hurtful things.
Hey, Freddie.
Freddie Dobler. I can't come to the phone right now, but if you leave me a nice message, then I will call you back as soon as I can.
Did he get his
Thanks a
phone
lot.
back?
You did.
Yay!
It was a while ago. Hey, Freddie, it's a program and call us back. You only have like 5
minutes.
So,
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So I've helped other people to manage their anger by just telling them what I did and how I do it and what has been helpful, what has been useful, what works and what doesn't. And the other thing, the support groups that have been really effective, aside from the anger management and that sort of thing, is I statements and speaking from personal experience. And granted, I don't do that when I say, yes, we on the program want you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you always say, speak for yourself. And I'm like, oh.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But when I confront a person about a thing that I am unhappy with or something like this, or when I want them to change their behavior, or when they're asking for advice, or when I'm interacting with a person, I try and speak in terms of I statements. I would do this. I think this. I would feel that. This is how I handled it. This is what I've done that has been helpful. This is what I've seen that has been good, and this is what has not worked for me, and blah 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 blah. Instead of doing that, you should do this, and you should do that, and you shouldn't do this, and you.
Hey, McDonald's, do you guys have those orange milkshakes right now?
I'm sorry?
Do you have the orange milkshakes right now?
Not that I know of.
Okay, thank you.
Fuck.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah. What happens if you and I are communicating and you present an issue or something, and I have advice that I think about? If I sit there and say, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, that kind of language sets up a defense mechanism,
You
a
don't
psychological.
tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I should not tell someone else what to do.
These are things that have worked for me.
Yep.
And then you don't even need to say maybe they'll work for you. They just say, hey, maybe those things will work for you. And I think they put that together themselves.
Yeah. And I avoid saying you, your, you'll, y'all, you, this sort of thing. And in doing that, I am not directing their behavior. I'm offering myself as an example of here's this same issue that I've encountered, and this is what has been helpful. Try it out. If you like it, if it helps, let me know. I would like to know if that works for you. And people respond to that much, much, much better. And I try and engage in that kind of language all the time if I can.
Yeah.
If I can. And, talking about this stuff on the program, I work at not telling the audience what to do when encountering a particular situation. I use I statements and speak from personal experience, and my hope is that in the case of child abuse or the anger or whatever, someone may hear this and listen to this, and it may be helpful for them. Someone that recognizes that they're being angry about stuff that's not, where that level of anger is way beyond the issue where anger is necessary. Their anger is inappropriate, inappropriately large. Okay, I'm done.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, and that guy who left a message, who I don't know who he was. McDonald's, thanks, computers. Thanks, Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and the website. Check out the website. Thanks, phones. Thanks, crew. Guys are going to kill us. Really think that if you're out there. Thanks, USA. Thurston County Washington State, USA. Yeah. WP.com, check it out. Mr. Ball. Thanks, Jorda E. Thanks, TCTV. It's viewers that see you watching. Thank you. Hell yeah, dog. Bye.